Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is part of a series that I started 2 years ago about how to build a landing page with page builders. The page that we're going to build, by the way, is this one. I'm going to reproduce that landing page. I'm not reproducing this part here, by the way, just because at the beginning, not all the page builders had that. So I'm not handling all of them in the same way. So the only part that I won't build is this one. And so far, I started about 2 years ago, and so far I did Elementor, Thrive Architect, Breezy, Divi. I think I'm missing another one as well. So anyway, and lately I did Bricks that was released in March, last March. And today I want to do the same thing, but this time with Breakdance, which is a new page builder aiming at competing, with Elementor. So let's do like always. I'm gonna speed up the web development. If you want to see it, just slow down. You can click on the little gear icon on YouTube and show it at probably 0.25 because I do probably 4 times the speed. And then you can go at the end to see the conclusion, the scores, and so on. So I'm going to use that timer because I believe in two things. It's pretty easy to just put a title or a button on a page in different page builder and then compare them and saying, wow, this one is way better because it's lighter, there's less div. But the reality is you'll never will build a web page just with one element in it. So that series was built with that in mind. We want to build an entire page to take a look at a couple of things. First of all, how fast is it to build a web page? And that's why we have that little timer there. Secondly, the weight of it, but with many things on it, not just a button or things like that. So we will compare the speeds at the end and so on. And also, as a bonus that I do usually at a slower pace, I show how to transform that full width page into a mobile version. And again, see how easy it is from one builder to the other. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start the timer. Ready? Go. All right, so took about 21, almost 22 minutes. So that's really good. I checked my previous videos, and the only one that did a little bit better, a few seconds better, was Thrive Architect, which was the first one that I did. Of course, like I said at the time, first of all, I practiced a lot and so on. Even this for breakdance, I must be clear with you that yesterday I did the one for bricks. Was pretty tired, by the way, and also been disturbed a lot during the video. So it has impacted time for sure. So we can remove a few minutes from that one, probably. But still, honestly, this is probably one of the best, if not the best one in terms of development time. I'm the first one to say, or I was one of the first anyway, to say that we have many clicks to do for some things. For example, you saw me maybe doing the div, and we need to click on a lot of buttons to go get what we want. A lot of panels that open. Fortunately, they close in one click when we click somewhere else, instead of having to close them one by one. So this has the advantage of having very many features. That's probably one of the most feature rich in terms of having all the CSS options, let's say it like that. It's sometimes deeply nested, but to be honest, and that's one of the reasons that I do this kind of videos, when we work with it, 90% of what we do is in this first panel here. So because of that, it's really fast. So when you need some more advanced feature, yes, it's going to be a bit slower than other builders probably, but most of it is really fast. So you get overall you gain some time, I think, when you build a real website. So I would say that it's one of the fastest in terms of development time, and you see it, of course, like I said. I did the other one yesterday, so it helped me because I did this site many, many times. So you can count on that to be a little bit more than that, maybe, but still pretty good. One of the disadvantage, and maybe I'll do a video review of breakdance or comparison with between breakdance and bricks. Put the comments below if you would like to see that. One of the things that I don't like is that there's no preview button. So you develop, and if you want to go take a look at what you have done, you need to close the builder entirely and go to the front end. So when you want to go back after that to the builder, it's a little bit tedious. So you need to have two tabs open. That's the best way. Bricks, in comparison, is really easy to do preview beside it. And even Elementor, if you click on that little icon that is somewhere near here to close the panels, you see, in fact, the preview of the page at the same time. So this is one of the bad aspects. Also, what I don't like is that we cannot rename the sections. So that's a bad thing here. I would have liked to rename my section like I did in the bricks video if you've watched it. But these are only the main two negative points, besides having nested bugs, like I already said. Those are maybe the two biggest problems. And it's only version 1. So I expect that to be improved a lot, first of all. And again, most of what we do is done right away. So for example, also another example here, if I had a section, you see that it jumps right away to the section itself and to the styling of that section. In comparison with bricks, you need to insert it, then click on it, and also after that, you need to click on style if you want to style it, so on. So that's tedious more than with bricks, than the breakdance, sorry. Also, you don't need to drag elements. As you saw maybe if you watch the video, yes, I can drag things inside of it, and it's probably the easiest one that I saw. With Elementor, with bricks, sometimes it's hard to drag and drop it in the right place. Things are moving on the screen and things like that. It's not the case with breakdance. Really goes well with that. Same thing if I move things from one column to the other. Really easy to do. Snaps easily in place. Probably the easiest one that I saw in that regard. Um, So that's another thing. Another thing also, you saw that I don't need to click inside the element. As soon as I add a new thing, it's gonna add it after the previous one. So again, this helps a lot to be faster in that area. So those are little things that make it a lot faster to develop. Now, let's take a look at the score that we can get from it with GT Metrics. So let me load that, and I'm going to pause the video while it does the analyze. Right, so here are the scores that we get with Breakdance. Again, this is a multi-site installation, by the way, so it's probably slower than on a single site one, and not the faster server as well. So response time is always the thing that impacts the most. But as you can see, pretty decent scores, about the same one as we had with Bricks as well. So I would say that Bricks and Breakdance are really comparable in terms of performance, in terms of speed of development. So it's more a matter of choice for that area, I would say. Of course, on the good side, Bricks right now is still in LTD, so lifetime deal, so a lot less expensive than Breakdance. But this is just for now. Expect it in the following months, coming months, to become a yearly subscription. So will probably be a little bit similar. Difference is that Bricks allows you to have one license for one site or unlimited, whereas Breakdance is only unlimited. So it's less convenient if you want to have just one license for one client, for example. But pretty similar. I really enjoyed working with Bricks. Honestly, was pretty fun working with it. With Breakdance, sorry, I said Bricks. So, and I really mentioned it before. If you follow my channel, I'm an Elementor user, but I'm slowly uh, moving towards Bricks. But as I mentioned, also probably the only one that could make me change my mind is Breakdance. And honestly, I really liked it. Would probably subscribe to the yearly plan, even though I have it for free for now because of my Oxygen license. But would probably move to at least buy the first year, so that will give me 2 years to really test it out, and we'll decide after that if I keep it or not. But at least now I will be able to lock my price at 149 per year, because it's going to be pretty expensive, to be quite honest, after that. Well, again, of course, a lot less than Elementor, but still. So for now, it's 139 sorry, instead of 349. So $200 difference. It's going to be a lot more in few weeks or months, probably something like that. So good time to go and get it if you want it. Now, let's do like with every other page builder that I tested. Let's make it mobile friendly. So we have a little bar here. So I'm going to go with tablet device. Everything is pretty much the same, but these stack really quickly. A little bit strange in a certain way, but these are the columns, by the way. Sections are fine, but not columns. And columns are flex designed, by the way, so it's okay to use them. It's not necessarily like the old Elementor way. I really felt when I saw that at first that we were going back a few steps, but finally I saw the thinking behind it, and that's okay to use columns in this case because it's flex. It's not the same thing as what we had previously. So let me show you the columns here. We have the layout stacked vertically. Two options here: stack vertically and 50% width, that we can choose on which device that they stack vertically and which device that they take 50%. My case, since we have three columns, no, not one of them will take 50%, but I'll still use the stack vertically. So I set it to be never for now so that I can take it a better look. So you see that on big screen or big tablet, three columns will still be fine. Tablet portrait, up to you. Starting to be a little bit squeezed. And don't forget that the iPad 768 will be with that layout as well. So you decide where you want to put it. I will say for this one should be the right one, so tablet portrait. So I'm going to switch that to tablet portrait. And I think there's a little bug because when I switch back to desktop, sometimes it switches that back to desktop as well. If it does so, just change it again. That will be fine. All right, so phone landscape, let's go with tablet like that. Okay. Now the image is way too big, so it's 40%. That's one of the other things that I don't like. I forgot to mention it, but image, we don't have a specific width for it. So that's a little bit strange. Well, at least when we use an image box. I think we do when we have a regular image. We can change probably its width and height for the, I don't know, here we go, okay. But for the image box, we don't have that control. So I needed to use percentage, which is not that ideal here. I can change the container, but not the image itself. So image here, sorry, I will have to, we need to stick with percentage, and that's what I don't like. So let's say probably something like 20% here would be better. And then here, maybe a little bit more. 40 is still too much. So 30%. And phone portrait, probably still the same. So I would copy that and paste design twice. So that's how I would like it. And as opposed to the bricks one, by the way, I didn't specify any CSS to space it because it was pretty near the final design. But in bricks, I had to write some manual CSS. Uh, Not in this one, but for another thing elsewhere, because I was not able to specify the exact spacing for my title inside. It was inside my rich text format here for the bricks one. But here, I didn't change it, but I could have changed it because we don't have control exactly. We do have the title here, but not the spacing. So anyway, all right, so let me go back to that point. So same thing for those columns here. We're going to have the same issue, of course, with the stack vertically. So I'm going to set it to none, never for now, and take a look at what we see. So this one seems to be pretty good. Tablet portrait. We start to see here moving, but still satisfying for me, except for the border that we don't see too much right now, but you see that we have the border here. So I want to get rid of that. Um, but that's the only issue for now. Tablet portrait, phone landscape. Now you see that it's starting to be really bad, and of course even worse with that. So I would say that I would trigger a one column on phone landscape in this particular case. So on phone landscape, now we have two, one on top of the other. What I would do here, by the way, I would put that image in the center. And well, let me go back first of all to tablet landscape here. We'll stay like that. Tablet portrait. I'm going to remove the border here because it's a little bit strange this way. That's the only thing that I'm going to change. So that's this column here, second column. And I'm going to get rid of the borders right here. So I'm going to set them to 0. So they're going to disappear. All right. And we'll copy that later on for the 3 other rows. So this one, like I said, I'm going to put the image to be centered. So let me simply click on the column and align it center. I could put a little bit of space as well, by the way. So maybe, I don't know, 30 pixels here. This one is going to be fine, but I'm going to remove that 140 pixel for the height that I had. And one thing that is pretty cool, by the way, with Breakdance also is that you can click on modified and you see all the things that have been modified, even if it's not for that dimension. So here I see nothing, but since it shows that and I have that little dot just like in bricks, I know that we have some values here by default. So here for the height, I'm going to simply select auto. So it's still all right for now, but for the smaller screen, it would have made a lot of difference. And if I click on that, you'll see that here, for example, 140 is not enough. So by doing that, everything's fine. All right, so that's okay for me. So let me copy each of those. So let's copy, paste, design, paste design here as well. Same thing for each column that I created, copy, paste design to have it centered. And finally that one, copy, paste design, and paste design. Oh, yeah. I saw that when we paste the design, strangely, I think that the height auto is not copied. So that's probably a bug. They will need to modify that. So let me just go here and set it to be auto. That's the only thing that has not been copied. I don't know why. It's in the advanced. So that's the way is to do that. Okay, now here we go. All right, so for the next section now. We have a collapse button here, by the way, if you want to collapse everything at the same time. So this one, same thing with columns. We're going to have the same issue. So why not go right there right away and set it to never, and then go side by side. Tablet portrait starts to be a little bit squeezed. So I think I'll change it right there. So portrait, tablet portrait will be the size where we put it on one column. I could say 50% as well, by the way, if I wanted to. If you feel that those go together, and then you can move the spacing to the left, and so on. So really up to you how you want to see that. So tablet portrait. And then, of course, same thing, you can move that to be centered. But probably some spacing here below as well. And same thing here. This one would probably move it. Well, first of all, that column, I'm going to put some space as well. Let's say the same 30. And we can, by the way, mouse over and dragging. Supposed to be able to do so anyway. We can on items. Looks like we can't on columns. Strange. Okay, anyway. We can on items directly use the click and drag to add some padding and margin. So for that one, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I could say, for example, probably 0 would be too much because still have the quotes. So maybe something like, I don't know, 10 maybe. And this div here, left was 30 by memory. So if I say 10, 10 is big, 0. Position still be static. So, looks like we're gonna have to use a minus. Okay, it doesn't move at all. Let me see. It's supposed to still be absolute, so maybe that's a little bug as well there. I need to put it back to absolute again. So anyway, so something like 10, 15, I don't know. That should be all right. Let's see on the phone landscape. Still good. And portrait, still good. Because we have 15 by default here, so that's okay. All right, so this is how I would make it for my design and mobile. So hope you liked it. Take a chance and take a look at Breakdance. And of course, if you like this video, put a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can know about more videos like this one. And of course, comment below. You're more than welcome, and I will read and answer to everything that you write. So thank you and have a good day.